The fragments that I see people use on Solar Titan really confuse me. So I'm going to go through each and every one of them and just tell you what they do and how they're not wanted in your Solar Titan build for soloing dungeons and other content and just staying alive very well. If you just want the build, you can go to the timestamp seen on your screen right now. And if you like what you see, please subscribe. This is my actual numbers. And let's go ahead and start. Ember of Mercy. This is an alright thing. I mean, you don't really need it because you're getting restoration off your sunspots. So personally, it's not something I'd use. Resolve, something I'd use 100%. Also, on the right of your screen, you're going to see this I'd use situationally and then not use, and I'll list them as we go. This is one that I would 100% use all the time unless I'm on healing nades. Ember of Singeing is only for Loreley. It grants 300% increased regen rate for that cost ability whenever you scorch targets. I don't see a use for it outside of Loreley, but also Loreley is not good. Just use Synthesteps. Kill it before it can kill you, dude. So Benevolence is whenever you heal someone, applying Cure, Radiant, or Restoration to allies, you get 400% additional base regen for 6 seconds. That's one Hoyle stack. Not good. Don't run it. Also, this is for soloing stuff. Ember Beams. Straight up doesn't work with anything Titan related. This thing only works with Blade Barrage knives and Daybreak projectiles. Don't run beams. Empyrean, this is situational. If you're playing like a normal Titan with your little hammer, you don't need this that much. So this is situational for me. Combustion, you don't need this. This is actual ass. You're not causing ignitions that much with your super. Ember of Torches, 100% run. Easy, free, plus 15% damage. And it grants it to your allies if you need it. But you're always going to have this up. And this is just something I always run. Ember of Char. No, it's useless. Unironically, useless. It grants 40 Scorch to enemies damaged by ignitions, right? But the only way to get ignitions whenever you're using this build is your grenade, your sunspots, and your punching whenever you have roaring flames. But that requires 3 or 4 depending on your ashes. There is nothing that I have faced that I punch 3 or 4 times. If I punch it once, it's almost dead. If I punch it the second time, it's dead. I have a sunspot on top of me, I'm healing, and anything else near can't really kill me. Tempering, useless, you don't need recovery, your restoration. That's it. Blistering, once again, not causing ignitions. You don't need this. The grenade energy is not needed that badly. A 8% back if you kill like a thrall, like a tier 1. Tier 2 is 12%. Tier 3 is 16. Just get a fire sprite. Fire sprites literally just make it easy. Ember of Solace. This is like, alright, it's situational. You can just be radiant from your torches constantly. And then restoration as well, because whenever you throw that hammer, you get cure. You're probably walking in your sunspot. You have restoration. It's not bad, but it's also not the best. Eruption, once again, not causing ignitions that much. This is the most useful of the ignitions one. I personally just wouldn't run this because I'm killing everything with the hammer. I'm not focusing on ignitions. If this was Warlock, maybe I would be. But because this is Throwy Hammer class, you don't need this or any sort of ignitions. And after his Ashes, Ashes is one of the goats. It makes your, if you do need an ignition, it is 3 punches instead of 4. Whenever you apply Scorch, you add 50% more. Each punch is 30% with Ashes. On top of that, you get the extra 15, so it's 45 a punch, so it requires 3 punches for an ignition instead of 4. Wonder. This is the one I see the most common on people that don't know what they're doing. This thing sucks. Why does it suck? You make an aura power on a hammer kill. This requires multi-kills with ignitions. We're not causing ignitions that often, bro. It's not needed. I can make 50 orbs off of 100 kills just with my hammer alone. You don't need this. Stop running it. And Searing, the solar fragment. Oh hey, I threw my hammer off the map accidentally because it didn't track. Oh, I can just use my incandescent weapon, use my grenade. It's a scorched target defeat. I get a whole 8 to 15 to 17.5% back to my melee charge. And a fire sprite. A fire sprite just gives me a good chunk back. And if something is touched by your sunspot and you kill it with your hammer, you get the fire sprite. Or if you just straight up punch it, you get the fire sprite. That being said, 9 times out of 10, I'll be running Searing, Ashes, and Torches. This last slot could be Resolve, could be Singeing, could be Empyrean, could be Soulless. It depends on this grenade. If you're using healing grenades, you're not going to use Resolve. That's situational. I'm personally not using my class ability that much because I'm already fully healed all the time. So as the actual build goes, I'm running 3 hands-on this season. It costs 1 charge. I get my super back within a minute. 1 heavy-handed because I'm throwing my hammer. I might as well get orbs for it. Impact induction's a 1-second cooldown, and you get a good chunk back. And then your resistances kind of just vary, but I always run a melee resist because you're up in their face, they're going to stomp you. This charged up can be also cycled out for resistance. You don't really need this charged up because you're going to be always charged with this heavy-handed. On your legs, I run 1 recuperation, 1 intervention just in case. Recuperation is just that kind of safety precaution. I always run around with it. Otherwise, you can just throw on a surge. I run always an incandescent weapon. I'll have a solar weapon here, and then if I'm not eager edging around, I can just use a solar weapon here or swap to whatever surge I need. And I'll always have it because my only use for orbs is this surging. On your mark, I run 2 dilations. You're also able to just throw on outreach if you really like spamming a class ability, or even powerful attraction. I don't, because I'm not really a fan of this stuff. I'm already up in the face on top of my orbs, so I don't need powerful attraction, and I don't even use my class ability that much in this build because there's no need to. The whole reason I use the rally barricade is for the reload, say on like my Xeno for final boss phase. This build right here is crazy in the dungeon. Here's some footage of just that.